There are 200 monsters officially in Capsule Monsters Coliseum, but none stand out more than Kuriboh. It is a very unassuming monster on first glance by any regular Yu-Gi-Oh player, for its lackluster protection from attack effects historically. So it may come as a surprise for me to inform you that in Capsule Monsters, Kuriboh is one of the best monsters in the game, if not the best. Yes, this thing, among absolute monsters like Meteor Black Dragon, Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon, Blue Eyes White Dragon, and its ultimate variant, even the summoned Lord Exodia. Yes, the full-on, all its pieces assembled Exodia. It's better.
Holy cow! Whoa! That Kuriboh is swole!
This analysis will mainly go over Vanilla, since it is much more powerful. But I will still mention Libra a decent chunk, as I feel that it is worthwhile mention. I will go over an in-depth explanation as to what makes Kuriboh such an incredible monster. So, let's go.
Early game.
Kuriboh is a piece that is available immediately in Area 1. It has 2 diagonal movement and 2 cardinal attack range. This is an excellent range for early game. Diagonal movement with cardinal attack range is my preferred moveset, at least if you have 2 or more attack range, since one range often struggles with not being able to fight, due to the fact that putting a piece in front of its movement prevents it from attacking. Haniwa has this as its major issue, and free movement range doesn't even save Harama. Aside from Happy Lover, this is the best moveset in Area 1, meaning Kuriboh is immediately good. As for its use cases, you can use any symbol, but Dark and Thunder are preferred, primarily the latter, which will be explained later. It also costs 30 AP initially, which is really cheap and incredibly useful, since the lower the AP cost, the better. It also boosts AP by 56 per turn, which increases later, which in vanilla is great, since especially in late game, your Dark and Thunder monsters are going to be really expensive. So having some cheap pieces right off the bat is just really useful. As for its use, I believe you should bring as many as possible early on. It will get better as you level it up, since it will get an SBA that will showcase its true potential. And don't worry about the cost. This piece is really cheap no matter what.
Mid-game and late game.
Once hitting level 4, you get an SBA called Perfect Block, the best SBA in the game. Let me explain why this is such a powerful SBA. The SBA costs 150 and targets either itself or an adjacent ally piece, which grants an effect that makes the next attack inflict 0 damage. While you can only have one of these effects at a time, this is an extremely powerful effect. It means that you can attack while being safe to at least one blow. Self-perfect blocks are in the game, where the effect is exclusive to the monster itself, but gifting this effect to other monsters is extremely strong, since it makes some of the hardest hitting pieces that much more difficult to deal with. The effect is so strong that it can be ran by any symbol, but the best enabler for this is Thunder. This is since Dark and Thunder are gifted an attack buff from their symbol, Thunder having the best matchup against the lights, and an example use case would be buffing a Thunder when going in range of 2 lights. Your Thunder one-shots one of the lights, then is not worried about the second. Obviously though, you want to watch out for enemy ranges. If they can hit you multiple times, that can be worrying. But the cool thing is that if your monster is bulky, then it really isn't that much of an issue. What truly is ludicrous about this is that if you play vanilla, you can give this effect twice, and this becomes even more ridiculous with something you may not be aware of. In vanilla, stat differences between early and late game pieces is not too large, so it's mostly differences in SBAs and mainly movement and attack range. For example, 2 Cavalry Kozus can beat a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, which is pretty dumb if you think about it. With Libra Mod though, a lot of monsters were nerfed, primarily green. But even though this is the case, I would still consider it a top tier monster, but it is much more balanced in comparison. While they do have advantage, Ultimate is the strongest light in the game, and Kaminari Kozu is a piece that is available immediately starting the game. Pretty ridiculous gap, which was fixed by a certain mod. This leads me to discussing Libra Mod.
Libra Mod.
In Libra Mod, you will have to adapt and use stronger monsters as you get them. This is due to stats being adjusted so that late game pieces are a lot stronger. This doesn't mean these pieces aren't good in vanilla, but you have to prioritize range and cost. I'll list 2 examples of monsters, both good in Libra, only one in vanilla: Blue Eyes White Dragon and Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon. Blue Eyes White Dragon is a piece that costs 210 AP with 3 cardinal movement and 2 cardinal attack range. It has some of the highest stats among light monsters as well. Good range and solid stats, but that is a very steep cost, and you're probably better off just using 2 cheap lights instead, at least in terms of vanilla. But an important thing to note is that in vanilla, lights are a lot weaker, having lackluster attack, only really salvaged by Earth's symbol buff. Even the mighty Blue Eyes White Dragon have mediocre attack. It's still a strong piece for sure, but I'd rather have more pieces that put on pressure on my opponent, such as Dark Witch and Happy Low. Twin-Headed Thunder Dragon, on the other hand, is a good example of a piece that works well for both vanilla and Libra post-game and PvP, since it has an excellent 4 diagonal movement and 2 cardinal attack range. You might be curious then, how does this relate to Kuriboh? Well, this is the kind of piece that, no matter if you're playing vanilla or Libra Mod, will always be a good recipient of perfect block. But how about we check the stats of Kuriboh? The stats in Libra are the following: 338 PP, 300 attack, 20 defense, 41 AP with a boost AP per turn of 62. The notable differences are the reduction of attack by 41 and the nerf to its effect to being once per duel. But what's cool is that the early use is still pretty good. Nobody in Dark and Thunder is vying for too much EXP, at least early on. Steel Scorpion only needs to get to level 3, and all Exodia pieces need to be level 2, meaning it's very easy to spare EXP for our little fiendish friend. In Area 3, Kuriboh isn't able to keep up well offensively, and mainly serves as a backup, an AP booster, and primarily a support. Kuriboh works well to chip down monsters or act as a meat shield after you've given the buff. Keep in mind that in Libra, beating monsters like endgame Earth symbol boosted Earths isn't realistic with a single Kuriboh. Even mid-game Darks struggle with that. But does it work well with other symbols? Yes. Fire pieces adore the buff that the block provides them, and it really helps versus large numbers of pieces, as it reduces the need to sack a piece. The best enablers that I would recommend would be Fire and Thunder, since they're the hardest hitting pieces in the game, primarily the latter due to symbol buff for Kuriboh. Earth is the least important of the offense boosting symbols, due to their high innate raw defenses, but there's still merit in buffing the lights that they buff, due to them not having the greatest heals. In any case, Kuriboh is a very versatile piece that can work in most positions in Capsule Monsters Coliseum, especially in vanilla, where it is outright overpowered and highly deserving of being considered the best piece in the game. If you sticked around for this long, then thanks for watching. And if you're interested in watching this type of content, or a specific analysis, then feel free to voice it down in the comments. And if you have any recommendations or critiques, I'm open to it too. Anything to improve the content. Anyways, take care.